All right, let's call this meeting to order. Welcome, everybody, for tonight's meeting, regular meeting of Sunnyside City Council for Monday. Hello, there it's back. Okay. All of a sudden, I felt like I was in a box talking to myself. It's like,
You were.
well, it's interesting. Never mind. That's not pertinent to tonight's meeting.
Hang
Thank
Stay
you.
with us.
All right. So for the record, all members of council are present and all members of indicated staff are present except for Police Chief Lehman, who is otherwise occupied in police work, and IT Director or Manager Knight, who is working on an update project for the city. All right, so council members, you will notice a new item on the agenda this evening, right? Under roll call, and it's agenda approval. One of the takeaways from our Rules Committee meeting last week was the idea of approving the agenda before we start our meeting. That's never been on our agenda, but other cities do that, and it was recommended that we do that. This is the opportunity where if council believes that there's an item that should be removed that we're not ready to discuss, or if you have an item that you wish to add, then you submit that at this time for council approval. And so we thought we would give it a try and see how council likes it. If council doesn't like it, we can always remove it again, but we thought we'd give that a try for this meeting. So as we look over the agenda, this comes to you as a motion, this current agenda. What is the desire of council on this item? Yes.
I know we talked about tabling item C. Do we have to motion during the regular?
We already agreed to remove item C during the study session, so you are correct. Thank you for pointing that out. So this agenda is presented as a motion without item C.
And we just need a motion to that.
We need a motion and a second to vote.
We'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Councilor Hart, second by Deputy Mayor to approve the agenda as presented without item C. Is there debate on this item? All right, all in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I too vote aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right. Invocation. We have somebody here to do the invocation this evening, and I think it is incredibly appropriate that this individual is asking to do the invocation in Spanish, and September is Hispanic Heritage Month. And so I would like to ask that you please rise for the invocation and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Vamos a orar y todos juntos inclinemos nuestros rostros. Eterno Padre que estás en los cielos, Jehová de los ejércitos, que hiciste el universo y toda la creación. Hoy venimos a ti pidiéndote, Dios, tus ideas que sean enviadas a Sunnyside, a los líderes, a las autoridades, para tener un Sunnyside brillante, un Sunnyside que resplandezca en el nombre de Jesús. Jehová, tu justicia alumbre, tu justicia crezca en esta ciudad y Sunnyside sea ejemplo de otras ciudades en el nombre de Jesús, con hombres y mujeres temerosos, conocedores de tu palabra. Padre, pido de tus ideas, eres el creador y generador de ideas, y pido tus ideas en los corazones, en las mentes y en los pensamientos. En el nombre de Jesucristo declaramos sanidad sobre Sunnyside, declaramos libertad sobre Sunnyside y declaramos, Señor, que las autoridades tomen justicia y hagan lo correcto y lo recto delante de ti. Tu palabra dice que el camino de la justicia es vida y el camino de la injusticia es muerte. En el nombre de Jesús declaramos vida sobre Sunnyside y vida que abunda y sobreabunda en el nombre de Jesús. Padre, Salmos 119, 165 dice que mucha paz tienen los que aman tus mandamientos y no hay para ellos tropiezo. Declaro tu palabra en este lugar, en esta ciudad, en el nombre de Jesús. Amén. Amén.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. No. Motion was to approve the agenda. Less item C. All right. First item on our agenda is public comment. I have a number of people who have signed up for public comment. The first person on my list is Sandra Lindy. Please approach the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and make your comments. Please remember you'll have 3 minutes.
I'm Sandra Lindy and I am from Sunnyside. Good evening. I am here to respond to the fact that at the last city council meeting, a member of the city council in the middle of the meeting called myself and my husband out. I felt this was inappropriate. It's outside the public comment period where I had no opportunity to respond. It's disrespectful to me as a community member, and local residents commented to me concerned about this action after witnessing it, whether they saw it in person or viewed the recording. For information, my name is Sandra Lindy, not the commissioner's wife. I've been coming to city council meetings for over 20 years, far longer than most of you have been involved or interested in the city affairs. I have served on local committees. I was a member of the Sunnyside School Board for 12 years. Most of that time, I served as chair or vice chair. I have cared for and supported many members of the city council for years. Many of the members of this council went to school with my children, and I care about them too. We in Sunnyside need to work together as a team to solve our problems. This cannot occur when people criticize and insult each other in these council meetings. This behavior does not reflect well upon the city and is dividing our community. I just watched the Reagan movie, and during it, he said, if I agree with someone 80% of the time, he's 80% my friend and not 20% my enemy. When I make public comments here, I always try to be positive. Just a note about my husband, the county commissioner. He has a lot of commitment, serving on 19 committees. He's also a lay pastor. He has 8 cities and towns within his commissioner district. And I can assure you, he is at a meeting most nights of the week. Even so, I think it's fair to say that he attends city council meetings in his district more than any commissioner ever has done. I believe the long-term members of this council can confirm that. LaDonna and I are dedicated to Sunnyside, our home, and always look to improve it. That will work better if we collaborate rather than to call each other out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindy. Next name on my list is Sis Kennard.
I'm Sis Kennard, Sunnyside, Washington. I just want to speak on the item that you were discussing earlier about the shelterless. And I'm going to speak with some experience. I formerly was the manager of the Sunnyside Food Bank for years. And during that period of time, we tried to have a shelterless when the weather got bad. And our experience was nobody wanted to stay there. And they had the opportunity that they could come in the evening. They would serve them a hot meal. They could stay overnight. We had beds made up for them. And the rule was they just had to leave by 7 o'clock in the morning so that we could do our work as the food bank. So I just really am concerned that our city government is thinking that they need to take on this responsibility. The other thing is that I'm a member of a group called Help Up, which is been a little inactive, but they always have a cold winter drive, clothing drive that they do. They are now in the process of changing their name to a new organization. I don't have that in front of me. But they're people who provided vouchers and food. And their experience was that the hotels don't take the vouchers anymore because the shelterless people were abusing them. And how they got the voucher was that they could go to one of the churches and ask for a voucher. Well, they're pretty smart. So they would go to this church this week and another church the next week. And it was the same people abusing the voucher situation. So I just asked, the city has so many things to be concerned about. Let us, the community, pick up this problem and work it out among the churches and the Red Cross and whatever else. But I'm just trying to advise you not to get involved and speaking with experience.
Thank you, Ms. Kennard. Third on my list is Teresa Hancock.
Teresa Hancock, Sunnyside. I just want to commend you guys, especially Mr. City Manager and Deb, for looking at this issue with the community center. It definitely is a need in the community. I know that the community has spoken many, many times about that. And so I appreciate that you guys are looking at that and looking to extend the hours. When I've gone at pickleball in the evening, there were lots of kids there playing basketball, and they had to leave at 4, and that was difficult. They wanted to play longer, and these are the youth that need the most outreach and that kind of thing. So I really appreciate that you're doing that. And when I was on council, we had conversations with looking at the Girls and Boys Club. Prosser has a very active group in the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm wondering if that isn't something we can also take another look at as the Girls and Boys Club.
Thank you, Ms. Hancock. Fourth name on my list is Jim Stevens.
Hello, I'm Jim Stevens from Sunnyside. One of the things I wanted to address, it's coincidental, was the what you just talked about earlier, the homeless problem. And it's not just a problem for the community, it's a problem for those people as well. It's exciting to hear the number of resources that we have to resolve this issue. It's tremendous. And the amount of money, I think, City Manager Mike, you mentioned one, we're talking about $1 million or something of that nature. But unfortunately, it's going this way. And that's the way football teams lose games. The way they win games is having a plan. And one of the guys that I was really impressed with at Verizon Brewery, when we were talking about city managers, is this guy that I talked to. He said, I think we need a 20-year plan. I don't know if anybody here remembers that. I do, Mike. And that I thought, holy Toledo, you're singing my song. And so that's what we need for this home. I will tell you, all the good energy, the money is wasted. We are wasting our money. This is not a good plan. The plan we need is we need a facility, a significant facility. I mean, significant, where there's medical care. We have nutritional care there. We also have people that tend to the people with psychiatric problems, which is about 95% of them in one way or another, mild to moderate to severe. And now we have something, it's a gated community where these folks can come in, they have a place to go. There's an out card of wellness. I will tell you, everything that's going on today does not have an out card of wellness. It's not there. And I would be more than happy to sit on any board that can start to put together a 20-year plan to make this happen, get all the resources we can, the money from the federal government, from the state government, and the resources that you're talking about, and make this happen. The other ones, you're not doing these people a service. They're going to be doing the same doggone thing 2 years from now. They're going to be on the street. They're going to be dead. A lot of them will just be dead. And so it makes us feel good. Oh, we put some money, we put up a tent, yada, 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 and it makes us feel good. And we go home to our nice homes. These people are suffering. And so this is what I'd like to see happen. And again, I'd be more than happy. And I know this council is a good heart. I heard you all speak. You want to bring the community together. I totally, absolutely believe that from every community or every council member here. Anyway, I don't want to just blow smoke. I will help any way that I can. And I really do appreciate good heartedness.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Fifth name on my list is Monica Niemeyer.
What?
First, you got to find the right.
Monica Niemeyer, City of Sunnyside. First of all, I want to thank everybody for all the changes that have come about. They've been really good changes in policy, procedure, hard conversations, looking at things. And so I appreciate all of us having to come together, as painful as it may be for us, but we are doing that. So I would like to talk to council though, in regards to the past meetings, specifically the public comment section. And take a look at those past meetings and think about how we can do this moving forward when it's in regards to public comment. So we all understand the mayor presides over the meeting. However, I want you to think about back to how the meeting, how it actually takes place during the portion of public comment.
We've seen the mayor take notes, and he takes very copious notes, actually, to the point where he'll ask everyone to pause so he can write everything down, and that's very good. And after we speak, we will thank whoever is talking. And is that okay? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You looked at, I wasn't sure. And he'll, you threw me off. It's okay. It's okay, okay. He'll thank whoever's speaking. And he'll say, in regards to our questions, that he'll get back to us. Well, I don't know if council knows that he's never gotten back to us. He's never gotten back to me, to Britt, to Sharon, or to Tom. And I know to others, but I don't have permission to use their names. But he hasn't gotten back to us. Not a single time, not a single question I've asked, not an email that I've sent. So here is my question to the rest of council. Did he let you know that? Did you know the position of the mayor? He promised this communication and action on behalf of the council and then ignored it. And why? Why ignore it? There's 6 of you on the board. Perhaps one of you could have easily reached out, followed up. Now, I do understand that comment is not to be given. When we speak, we're not supposed to be answered. We're not going to do that. I understand that won't happen. But when you open the door and you take the action and you say, we will get back to you, that's the part that I'm talking about. When you open the door for communication. So when I did bring it up in the meeting, the tone did change, that it came from, we'll get back to you, to, well, we can't get back to everyone. Well, do you guys know who the everyone is? Who can be addressed? Who can't be addressed? Which one of us are being heard? Which one of us aren't being heard? I can't even imagine how difficult it is for you guys to sit in your positions. But I do know how hard it is for me to stand here after 17 months and bring up the same thing and ask to be heard. So I'm just asking, when we speak, if you guys can just remember us and respect us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Niemeyer. And in response to your question, you are absolutely correct. And I apologize for that, because I think I have perpetrated a misunderstanding. My understanding was that staff who have actually the answers to the questions get back to the people who leave their numbers on this paper. And so after the meeting, I turned the paper over to the clerk, and I'm assuming that on Tuesday's meeting, they are saying, hey, could you answer this question? So that is on me, and I apologize for that. You are absolutely correct. I have not called, because I turn this paper into the clerk at the end of every meeting. So that wasn't an intentional slight on my part towards anybody. And no, council did not know, I don't believe, what I did with the paper. Last name on my list this evening is Britton Moore.
We look
not
a lot
Britton
alike,
Moore.
but I'm not Britton Moore.
Boy, you've
She's my
changed.
sister. So please tell
Very
me.
briefly, I just wanted to say, there's something we left out, and I meant to say that was noteworthy, is that I may be wrong, but I believe that the reverend who gave the invocation this evening is also related to a council member. And I think that's noteworthy, that your dad got up here and did that. And I think that's a proud moment.
Britton Moore, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Want to thank Britton Moore, Sunnyside. Want to thank you all for your time and dedication to our city. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Just a quick note on the community center. We have lots of at-risk kids. A lot of them are not in school programs or not in school sports. I believe that we are catering more towards the 15 to 18-year-old group. I agree with Councilman Hart, open later, stay later. So those kids have somewhere to be besides home or doing mischievous things. In the past, the supervisor position for Parks and Rec required experience and a degree with a much lower salary. Gosh, I could quit my 2 full-time jobs and go to work for the city and work a whole lot less. So I'm hoping that this gets worked out. I know you will. A lot of great minds at work on this. I have total confidence that you'll work that out. I have a question and some thoughts about the last budget meeting. I'm asking about and hoping we can get to some clarification during this council meeting on how our city investments work. At the budget retreat, Ms. Horner stated the investments of the city are held 2 different ways. One is a kind of money market account and the other is in bonds. It was during this presentation where she provided the council and public the information we are wondering about. One of the images Ms. Horner shared on the screen during the meeting was titled Snapshot of Current Financial Position, which reflects activity from January 1 to July 31st of this year. It showed the two investment accounts, with the account that she stated was made of bonds having withdrawals of $1,400,655.50. The general questions are, for any type of investment account, does the council need to be informed of, one, the creation of the account? Does the council sign for the account? Is the council notified of withdrawals? And does council approve of where the withdrawals is moved or deposited into? And what is the frequency the council is to be informed of the investment balances? It's not our intent to create more worry about the financial strength of our community. But these kinds of questions we wanted to ask openly in public so we can all learn more about how the city operates. And I'm sure that Deb Zabel is already on this and already has answers for this and already knows what's going on, but it was very confusing to us. And I've got the snapshot. If she'd like to take this list, I can give that to her, but she's probably already got the answer. So thank you. And that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. And yes, by the look on her face, Ms. Zabel will respond to your question. I'll have the answer when you come. All right, so that's the end of the list for public comment. I don't see anybody up on the Zoom. Clerk's not jumping up and down, waving her arms, so. Yeah, another new addition that I didn't know about is the introduction of theme music to our music.
Musical
All right, next item on our agenda, item 6 is our consent agenda. Consent agenda consists of the following. Payroll vouchers, approved payroll voucher numbers 119626 through 119634, and wire transfers as listed for $630,894.73 for the period ending September 10, 2024. Claim vouchers, approved claim voucher numbers 110191 through 110254, and wire transfers as listed for $503,207.95 for the period ending on September 6, 2024. Approved claim voucher numbers 110255 for $7,450.08 for the period ending on September 10, 2024. And approved claim voucher numbers 110256 through 110329 and wire transfers as listed for $741,925.47 for the period ending on September 13, 2024. And approved claim voucher numbers 11030. I'm wondering if there's a typo there, through 110395 and wire transfers as listed for $468,268.58 for the period ending on September 20, 2024. And finally, environmental and climate justice community change grant with Catholic Charities Housing Services, Diocese of Yakima. Council members, any member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda for discussion? Mr. Beeler.
Page number 4, check 110227.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Ripley.
110276.
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. Deputy Mayor.
I just had a question on item C, but we could do it after.
I didn't pull it off the consent.
No, I just had a question on that.
Okay. We can, well, we'll give Mr. Bueller a chance to ask his question and then Ms. Ripley, and then we'll give you the chance to ask your question on the item C.
I'm sure Mr. Sanchez could answer the question. It's the Sunnyview Park irrigation pump.
Repairs?
It doesn't say repairs. It just says Sunnyside Park irrigation pump, Sunnyview.
So there was some repairs to that pump through this summer for the irrigation pump. I mean, what's the invoice to, is it, what company?
Orchard and Vineyard SU
Okay,
doing
yeah,
business
that's,
as.
OVS. Yes. So, yeah, that was just repairs to the irrigation pump.
Now Sunnyview is the one out,
Out at, between Grandview and Sunnyside.
right. Now, I thought they were watering off of the building that we're buying off their pump.
No, that's irrigation. The water from the building, from the well is just to the bathrooms.
Okay,
Provides water to the bathrooms. That's to the irrigation system to the park.
all right, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Ripley,
Okay, my question was, this is for the Department of Health. It's a loan. To repay a loan or 110276.
Oh, 7
110276, that's what I have down.
Yeah, those are loan. Sorry. Those are loan payments and those are drinking water state revolving fund, which is what DWSR stands for. So we must have, one is loan and one is principal. One is principal and one is interest, I'm sorry. So I don't know what project that is for. I don't have that information for you, but I can get that for you. We must at some time got a drinking water state revolving fund loan for a water project, whether was water mains or reservoir, that I'm not sure.
Okay, thanks.
would you like to keep that off for getting information at a later date, or are you okay with the answer?
I'm okay with the answer.
All right, thank you. Mr. Deputy Mayor, your question.
Well, I thought Ms. Ripley would bring it up, but I'll bring it up. There's two items that she removed last meeting to desk. Are we bringing those back to this meeting?
And those were the two items that we removed from consent agenda for further study. Did those come back?
No, they were for the desks. Did you?
Question on the desks at the,
Yeah, those were for the desk for the new employee that started in August, and those were also purchased before we knew that our financial situation. Those were purchased for the new rec coordinator. Since we didn't have that position before, we didn't have desks for them, so they purchased two desks.
And neither of them had a desk.
Those were, no, we didn't have another desk for them at the community center. That's what they were for.
okay. Ms. Vasquez, you have a question?
No, I was just gonna follow up saying, because I believe there were two desks purchased, so that was just my question, because you said for the new hire, but that was just one hire.
Yeah, no, but it was two
Okay.
desks. One was a desk just for like this and the other one's for the computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the item C, it's for that same presentation for Catholic Charities we received, right? I was just wondering if Mr. Riley, were you able to look at that agreement beforehand? You haven't looked at the agreement?
Yes.
The one on the agenda today? You have, okay. Just want to make sure that it went past the.
Yes,
Mhm.
Deputy Mayor, I did send that to him for
Okay.
review. He did.
Got it.
Okay, does that answer everyone's questions?
Yeah.
All right, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
A second.
Okay, a motion by Councilor Bueller, second by Deputy Mayor to approve the consent agenda. Debate on this item? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I too vote aye, motion passes. Active agenda. First item, Title VII ambulance fees, amending resolution 2024-44, effective date. Approve a resolution amending resolution 2024-44, Exhibit A, Section 7, ambulance fees to be effective September 1, 2024. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. So this item comes before the council tonight for approving the ambulance fees beginning of September of this year. Chief Hobbrick has been working closely with Deputy City Manager Debbie Zabel on this item. We've experienced, I think, a 3-month delay in getting this item codified. So Chief was able to catch this and work with our new Deputy City Manager. They've been really diligently working together every time I pass their office. They've been working to get this item in front of the council. So with that being said, I'll hand it off to our Deputy City Manager.
Sable.
So thank you, Mayor and Council. So as we discussed in the study session, the fire chief had learned that the fee resolution had not been forwarded to our ambulance biller
contractors, so they did not get the increased fees, and therefore June, July, and August were billed at the previous rate instead of the rate that council had approved in the fee resolution. So to keep from a big complex problem of refunding everyone who has paid, waiting for the folks that haven't paid yet to pay so that they could be refunded, and then rebilling everyone, which does come at a cost. We do currently pay $5,000 to do monthly billing, so we would have to pay that extra billing. We don't know what the cost would be to refund, what the third-party biller would charge us to do the refunding. And then there is the added complexity of how do we deal with Medicare and Medicaid with refunding and rebilling. So the option that staff had come up with would be to just amend the fee resolution so that the portion of those fees, which was Title VII, the ambulance fees, is effective September 1st. We can get that to our ambulance billing contractor, and they can bill effective September 1st for the September bills at the new rate. And we have made a method to make sure that we do have our resolutions and our ordinances that need to be passed on to another entity or our contractor to make sure that they know what the current fees are.
Okay, questions or comments? Mr. Deputy Mayor.
I just want to thank both of you for catching this. I mean, it's 3 months, right? But it could have been longer. So definitely a good start, Ms. Sable. Keep it up. Thank you.
Further questions or comments? Hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Oops. I think.
Ms. Vasquez? Very good. All right, got a motion by the Deputy Mayor, second by Councilor Vasquez to approve a resolution amending Resolution 2024-44, Exhibit A, Section 7, ambulance fees to be effective September 1, 2024. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I too vote aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Item B, Salgado annexation, final action, adopt an ordinance annexing parcel number 231019-23404 and adjacent rights of way to the city of Sunnyside, also known as the Salgado annexation. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. To give the public some context, on February 12th of this year, City of Sunnyside approved a resolution to move forward with the processing of a proposed annexation for the property at 1270 Washout Road. And that included a public hearing to forward the application on to the Yakima County Boundary Review Board prior to adopting the final ordinance. A public hearing was held with the City of Sunnyside Planning Commission on March 12th of this year. And during that meeting, the Planning Commission determined that the property should be brought into the city as high density, commonly referred to as R3 zone property. A notice of intention was submitted to the BRB for review. No findings were made during the 45-day review period, which was from July 22nd of this year to September 5th. So quite recently, the BRB approved the annexation on September 9th of this year. And city staff is requesting city council to adopt a final ordinance on the parcel and adjacent rights of way into the Sunnyside city limits. HLA is here. Joseph Calhoun, who's been working with us on this item, is here to answer any questions that the council may have.
Council, questions for either the manager or Mr. Calhoun?
No questions from me.
Okay, hearing none, what is the desire of council on this item?
Move to adopt the ordinance annexing parcel number 231019-23404 and adjacent right of way to the city of Sunnyside, Salgado annexation.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hart, for reading the entire motion. I won't do that again. So a motion by Councilor Hart, second by Councilor Beeler to move ahead. Is there debate on this item? Hearing none, all in favor of this motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I too vote aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Item C has been removed from the agenda this evening. Item 8, City Council Report, Mayor's appointments for boards and commissions. I'm going to let the chair of the LTAC committee talk a little bit more on this, but we do have a sudden unexpected vacancy on our LTAC. And so, Mr. Galvan, if you want to share just a little bit on that and what you're recommending.
Yes, over the weekend, Miss Peggy Beeler resigned from LTAC. It's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to working with her. I know she had great ideas and a lot of passionate about, working with LTAC. That being said, and we are in the middle of LTAC season, it looks like we have a meeting scheduled for this Friday. I haven't heard a time yet.
At 9.
At 9 a.m. Okay. For this Friday at 9 a.m. With that being said, I mean, I think with the members now, we meet quorum, but it would be awesome to have somebody else in there. I know previous city councilor Teresa Hancock is interested in helping us out and serving in that committee. She has the experience. She's been there. I believe she's been the chair for LTAC before. So she definitely will be a great asset to have, reliable and, I guess, information for any questions that might come up. So.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And just for clarification as well, this came up over the weekend. I got the information on Friday as well as Mr. Galvan. And so the Rules Committee is the committee in charge of those types of things. And we had a real brief exchange to try to figure out what to do with this. I was out of town over the weekend at my daughter's house. And so we had to try to figure out what was going to be the best course of action. And so, which is why I let Mr. Galvan take the lead on this discussion at this point, because he was in town when this all happened and, well, I was not. So, council members, so Mr. Galvan and the Rules Committee is moving forward. Ms. Hancock's application, this is an opportunity for you to have discussion, comments. I mean, it says mayor's appointments, but it's really not anymore. It's council's appointments. Ms. Hart.
One of the things that I just wanted to put into record, and I don't have any objections with Ms. Hancock being on the LTAC, except for, no except. I think she would do a wonderful job on that particular committee. I do want to emphasize for going forward that on the LTAC committee is for those people, representatives who belong on that committee are those who are responsible for being taxed for the heads and beds, or somebody who benefits from the money that comes in through the LTAC, the lodging tax. I know we had Deputy Mayor and I and the mayor had several conversations about how her current situation doesn't really qualify as that, except for the other experience that she's had in previous when she has been chair, when she was on the council before. She has a great deal of experience. So I have no objection, but I just want to make clear that those folks who would like to be on the LTAC committee must be, and it's according to our CWs, if the LTAX money, the lodging tax money is distributed by a committee that's made up of people who contribute to the lodging, who are affected by the lodging tax, and those who are impacted by receiving the LTAC money. So I just want to make that clear. So.
Thank you, Ms. Hart. And so that is a concern. Ms. Vasquez.
Yeah, so just out of curiosity, is she the only one who applied for this position? Just wondering.
We have another current application as well.
Okay.
And I just was going to ask, is that one complete?
I believe it is.
And
Mr.
do we need to?
So when I first started and I was selected for the LTAC committee, I've been doing a lot of research, and also in the conference in Vancouver, I asked both the AWC people and RSC. What is it? MRSC? MRSC. Yeah, MRSC. And they told me that if a person is in a nonprofit, but they don't necessarily apply for LTAC funds, they would still be qualified. So her being on the Lions Club, that kind of falls back on the Lions Club for not applying for LTAC funds. So she's part of the Lions Club and it's a nonprofit and she most definitely fits the criteria per RCW.
With one caveat, Mayor, if I might
You may.
mention that. Several years ago, the Lions Club has tried in the past to obtain LTAC monies, which again are those monies that are generated by having heads and beds that we use for our festivals and so forth. The Sunnyside Lions did not qualify for LTAC monies. Repeatedly, we were wanting to use it for fireworks, and they wouldn't let us do it because we were not attracting tourists from outside of the 50-mile radius. That's again, I don't have an objection to the appointment, but I just want to clear that the Lions Club, unless we decided to have some big barbecue that we brought everybody in from Kentucky to Texas, which that would be fun, but we're not going to do that, I don't think. So we don't qualify. The Lion Club, the International Lions Club in Sunnyside does not qualify for LTAC monies.
Ms. Rosto.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Councilor Vasquez, because you're in these conversations as well, and so are you, Councilor Hart. I know that, you know, being a part of the Lions Club, we have been in conversation about how do we attract to collaborate more with our neighboring cities, right? And
Except that I don't.
so,
She has the floor.
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Chair. So how do, and I'm just saying that we have had conversations about collaborating with our neighboring cities. Actually, we have just recently, we were having a conversation about attending something that the Granger Lions Club was hosting, like a Menudo festival, I believe. I know the whole radius, attracting people from a specific radius. I mean, is there potential? I know in the past we haven't qualified, but is there potential to move in that direction? With being in conversation of attracting more of our neighboring cities, collaborating more with our neighboring cities. I do see room for potential. I do see room for improvement. I do see room for collaboration. So is that something that we could consider?
I think as a Lions Club, you would take it back to the Lions Club and make that consideration. I don't think that bears here, but it's certainly worth considering at a Lions Club meeting. For these purposes, tourism, retracting heads and beds, tourists are those folks who come outside of the 50-mile radius. And the projects that we've traditionally done as Lions Clubs haven't qualified for LTAC.
Okay.
Not to
So
say.
we're starting to wander a bit afield right here. So we have a question before us. The deputy mayor has done some research and it appears the answer to his question is yes, this individual may qualify to be on the LTAC committee. And so the question before us now is there objection to Ms. Hancock being placed on the LTAC committee and serving in that position?
No objection.
Hearing none, Ms. Hancock is appointed to our LTAC committee, which is good because you've got a lot of work ahead of you in a very short period of time. So
Can I make a comment?
Ms. Vasquez.
So you, in response to Councilor Frost, so you're absolutely correct. We have had those conversations and they're really good conversations. However, I haven't personally seen Teresa Hancock being a part of those conversations.
Okay,
So
that's also a conversation for another time.
I haven't seen her. So maybe if you were to show up, that would be really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's move on to the next item.
Do we still have a vacancy? I'm just.
Do we still have a vacancy? So we have a vacancy on LTAC for a person who collects the task. That would be a hotel motel owner. Ms. Beeler was with the Sunnyside RV Park and that also collects the tax. Bed and breakfast, something like that would be an individual that we would be looking for at this point because that place is vacant. We have 2 from the receiving side and then 2 from the paying the tax side. So we do have an opening. We have a quorum. They can function, but it's best to have those people there. So we are still looking for people who collect the tax, and it's been notoriously difficult over the years to get some of our hotel owners or managers involved in that. So if you know someone who might be interested, or you yourself have a bed and breakfast that we don't know about and you're collecting that tax, jump on in. Item B, other reports, announcements, and or questions by council. Mr. Beeler.
I went and saw the Sunshine Parade. It was wonderful. my dog sat in my lap and we waved at everybody. That's all I have.
All right, Ms. Vasquez.
Yes, I too was at the Sunshine Parade. I actually spoke to a lot of vendors, so that was really nice to just talk to them and see how they're doing and just say hi to the community. And I also saw our police chief there and I was able to just sit down and talk to him for a while, so that was nice. I also attended was it yesterday? I believe it was. Yesterday's Walk for Hope awareness and prevention. And it was really nice. It was really nice to see the community come together. Everyone was creating posters, writing on sticky notes, and just spreading some hope and just sharing with the community the things that we all go through sometimes mentally, right? And moments of darkness that sometimes it's inevitable, but the importance of speaking it out loud. We actually did a practice where we spoke and we asked tough questions that I had personally never been asked, but it was just really insightful to then ask certain questions. And it was a practice done by one of the really she knows a lot, one of the therapists there, and she made us, the whole community, do some practices and just breathe in and out and just recognize if we've ever had those moments of darkness. So we're still in September, and this is just something that we should all be aware of. And just to know and remember that we're never alone, even in those moments of darkness, because they will come. And just to remember to hold on to hope, and better days are always to come. So just wanting to share that with you all because it's really important, and to not neglect the importance of our mental health. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Ms. Ripley.
Yeah, I went to the Catholic Charities groundbreaking ceremony. They let us go through one of the houses, one of the residents of the houses. It was a very nice house. They look very well built. And I went to the Sunshine Day Parade too. I sat in my car. I didn't go around talking to everybody, but I was there. And then I also went to the YV-COG meeting the other night, and that was very nice. There was a lot of representatives there and learned a lot. And I did get a call from a citizen about loud noises Sunday, and that was at the community center. And it was the AYA. I guess they were down there. I didn't hear it, but they said that they could hear every word they were saying down there, and they were up on Grandview Avenue. And but I didn't hear it. I went to bed early that night. But I just thought I'd mention that.
You should have joined the party.
Appreciate that. Sound carries strange ways around in the valley. Sometimes I can hear stuff coming from the Central Park just perfectly at my house, and sometimes I can hear stuff going on in Granger, but just the way the wind happens to be drifting and that sort of stuff. And I think we do need to be conscious of that as we put on our events, that sometimes that sound is carrying a lot further than we think it is.
Yeah.
Some consideration. I know we're all caught up in the action and the enthusiasm of all of that, and it's really easy to forget. I've had people mention that about swim events as well, with the loudspeakers and the starter horns and all that sort of stuff. And people say, I could hear you all the way across town. So, whoa, you don't realize that when you're in the middle of it. So yeah, it's be thinking about that a little bit. So thank you for bringing that up. Ms. Fausto.
I didn't think I had any items, but now I have two. The first one, we attended the Public Works Committee meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. Just reminded me of it. So for anybody wondering, Raul, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sanchez, but I believe the ongoing projects around town, specifically around 16th, the ADA adjustments to our sidewalks are about to be wrapped up, hopefully this week.
Yes, they're projected to be done by the end of this week.
Yeah, so I know that our community was, they all had concerns when it was beginning. And I know that, your folks have been working long and hard hours, and just giving y'all a shout out for working so diligently in making sure that we get our sidewalks up to par, especially in terms of accessibility. And then a response just to the comment, and maybe it would help this community member. I attended the event on Sunday, the AYA event. It was actually a celebration to understand the outcome of an unprecedented settlement with the Sunnyside School District alongside the ACLU. And if y'all have any more questions about what that settlement means for our community, it means a great load of deal. First time ever, something like this happens in our community. And then also just alongside that, they're the community center. And I'm going to give a shout out to Mary, who's not here. They have specific permitting, especially around noise and the timeframes of that. So I do know that they were in compliance with the time frame that they were operating their program. I know that noise does carry, but just know that the permitting was in place for that. So that's it for me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
So I have one curiosity with the ramps and stuff. So I noticed that the crosswalks, the lines don't match on some of the ramps anymore. Is the plan to move those lines back, and is it gonna affect the sensors, I guess, on the lights?
Oh, no, the new crosswalk will be matching to the new ramps.
Yeah.
Yes, so the old ones will be removed.
Yeah.
And they'll lay the new ones. So it shouldn't affect anything else, yeah.
Still,
Those lights are on a timer.
Okay. And then another, I want to thank Raul and Maria from YV Cog. They have been working hard for getting this cleanup day this Saturday. It's gonna happen between 8 AM and 2 PM. So really thank you both. If there's seniors or disabled folks out there that need the help for that day, there's gonna be volunteers going around picking up the items, so that way they don't have to make the trip out to the trash or the area at the pole. So yeah, if there's a phone number you guys can call, get on the list. We would prefer to have a list, that way we're not running around, but at least we know where to go. And then just want to thank Rob for keeping up with the gazebo. It looks a lot better, and clearing it out. I really appreciate that. It goes a long way. It shows that we care and that we listen to the community's concerns. So thank you.
Ms. Ripley, question?
Yeah, can I add on to the dump day thing?
You may.
We need to reiterate that no what do you call it?
Yard waste.
Yard waste is in there because of the Japanese beetle.
Yes.
Yes.
You're supposed to keep all that waste at home until September 10th, and then it goes dormant. And so if anybody has yard waste,
Keep it home.
yeah,
Keep
keep it at home.
My pile continues to grow.
I know, mine too.
Sorry.
I too had a very busy week this past week. Again, attended the executive session of the YV Cog, talking about transportation, talking about some of the different things that are going on. We talked a little bit about at the YV Cog general meeting on Wednesday night over in Grandview. We had representatives there from the Senator Murray and Cantwell's offices, along with Congressman Dan Newhouse, to answer questions about what things are going on and how different motions are either being passed or not passed. And, it's right now they're in throes of deciding whether or not they're going to extend the budget to through the end of the year. So they were trying to be very positive about that it would get done. We also heard from a retiring a representative, Gina Mossbacher, who didn't run for reelection this year. But one of the things she said that it was interesting to me is a lot of you probably have noticed that you're not getting your license plates, your brand new license plates for your new vehicles. That's because apparently we're having a little shortage of workers at the big house where they make those. They don't have enough workers to do those. The other thing there was another thing there that was really interesting. They talked quite a bit about the crime lab, the Yakima Crime Lab, which is getting a lot of notoriety. As you know, Sunnyside is a member of the Crime Lab Consortium. We are getting really a lot of national recognition for the work that's gone into putting that crime lab into place. Sunnyside, as the chief could probably tell us, has been very successful with the use of the crime lab. They also now are working with the rapid DNA, which will help quite a bit on some of the other crimes solving tools that we need. And so it was a very good meeting. I had two pieces of cake. Well, I had two pieces of cake, but then I had to give one away. But that's okay. I didn't need the extra cake anyway. The other thing that we did attend, I wrote it down here, I find my notes again. We had, of course, the Rules Committee meeting. I attended that. And then also the houses out on Allen Road. Those houses and the amount of work that the people who are building those houses with trained technicians going into that, just amazing. The folks, I talked to some of the ladies who were the new homeowners there, and they were just delighted with the houses that they were going to be able to take their families home to, and their kids had worked on them and they'd worked on them. So it was very exciting. Also went to the police foundation ice cream party over at Bob's Drive-In that the folks at Bob Drive-In were really gracious about not only handing over a check for some $800, I believe it was, $800, but also ice cream sundaes. I mean, the ice cream sundaes were really, really good. I didn't get to have one because I'd already had an ice cream cone first. So, but it doesn't matter. They looked yummy, and I want to give a shout out to the Bob's Drive-In folks for their ongoing support of not only the fire, police department, but the fire department as well. And that's the kind of thing we really appreciate seeing in our community, the way we support each other. And that's a really good thing. I think that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hart. All right, so I'm continuously impressed by how many things our council members are able to go see and be involved in, and ways that we're all able to impact our community in different areas. It is interesting. We are 7 individuals and we have 7 different circles of influence that we're in, and we get to meet the entire community that way, which is why we're organized the way that we are, and we all run into different people at different times. Since we've already talked about Sunshine Days and the Walk for Hope, I'm not gonna bring that up. I was able to be in and out on Sunshine Days a little bit. Walk for Hope, as I came home, I saw it going on, but I was on my way home from being gone for the weekend, and 2 commendable activities. Both of which I hope continue for many years in the future, especially Walk for Hope as we're trying to prevent suicide. I think that's amazing to be able to take those steps. I also attended the general membership meeting of the YV-COG last week, Wednesday, which led to a meeting with other Valley mayors in YV-COG, and we had the opportunity to talk about some things. And I came from that particular meeting extremely pleased with a couple of our new hires. First of all, our city manager, and also hiring Ms. Sable, and we stole her from YV-COG. We have individuals in our city who have an immense knowledge of what is available to the cities through the COG. And, I have, 3 different contracts as examples of different things that the COG can do for us. One of them is a professional services agreement. Another one is a technical assistance contract, and then another for help in land use planning. And that and other things, the COG is able to help the city, often at very reduced costs. And so to be able to tap into some of those services, saving the city some money and still getting excellent results from that, I'm glad we've got you on board, that you can pull us right into that right away, and you continue to remember that. Our manager also seems to be pretty well versed in what the COG is able to do. It was a very encouraging report. So kudos to them. They put a lot of work in this past week with their general membership, the executive membership meeting, and then the meeting with all the mayors. So that was pretty phenomenal. The big meeting this week for me was the Rules Committee meeting. We have had pending updates and amendments to the rules that council uses for its procedures. And so we started at the beginning and have been working our way through that. We are going on Wednesday to meet again at the City Hall conference room, starting at 8 a.m. And we are going to continue. We're going to be getting some examples from other cities on what they do in questions of retaining the mayor or removing a mayor and deputy mayor and then other areas as well. We've got a lot of great input from staff members. So I am encouraged by the work that we're doing. When we moved it to the Rules Committee, I committed to getting that done in October, and I'm still committed to getting that done in October, but it is a fair amount of work. And so I'm grateful for the committee members who are taking that seriously. We had some serious discussion and we gave each other pushback on different things, which was also beneficial. So I am encouraged by that. And what else? Oh, that's pretty much it for me, because you guys covered all the rest of the stuff. So thank you for that. Next item will be upcoming council meetings. I believe that is the responsibility of our clerk.
Okay, so here is the agenda planning schedule. Debbie and I hadn't had a chance to meet to discuss the upcoming budget dates and the meetings and all of that. So all we have for October 7th is a budget workshop, again, pending, it may be changed. October 14th, stormwater rate analysis if it's ready. And again, another budget item, that topic that may be changed.
Okay. Very good, thank you. And remember, council, that budget items are due on the Monday before the meeting now, so that that budget can be put out in time. Mrs. Frausto.
Mr. Mayor, is October 7th not our next council meeting, or my date?
October 7 is the first Monday in October. Let me pull up my calendar.
It was
Is it?
scheduled as a special.
Okay.
That's your
Yeah.
your extra budget meeting.
Okay, thanks for the
Yeah, if we have a
clarification.
meeting, there will be a special meeting. Otherwise, our regular meeting will be on the 14th and the next one will be the 28th. But yeah, good catch. I was looking at that too. It said, okay, I thought the 14th was next, so that's a good call. Again, remember to get your items in on the Monday before the meeting, 1 week before the meeting, so that they can be published in time. Next item is city manager report. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council. So obviously it's been a busy several days, and Debbie Zabel, our new deputy city manager, started on Monday, and we were conversating before the meeting, and we're like, gosh, it feels like we've been here a long time. I've been here a month and a half, and Debbie's really hit the ground running, and I can't tell you how fortunate we are to have her. And you know, I played sports growing up in college, a little bit of minor league baseball, and a coach will always tell you you're only good as your players. So I'm fortunate to have a lot of good players with me. So I'm going to go through kind of my list, but I'm going to have Debbie communicate with some things that she's already accomplished. So again, just thank you, Debbie, for all your hard work already. So fortunate to have you. So thank you. I had a chance to visit Yakima Chief Hops. So I wanted to send out a big thank you to Victoria Garza, Salvador Benitez, Lisa Garcia, Marciela Galvez, who just gave me an incredible tour of the facility. And they were wanting to give some council members a tour before harvest is over. So if you haven't been on that tour, just absolutely incredible. They employ 217 people across the valley. They have a worldwide footprint. So it was certainly an educational experience for me. But I just so fortunate to get that tour, really eye-opening. So thank you. Had a chance to go to the Buy Right Customer Appreciation Day. So Eric Swinehart and Andrew just been in the community a long time, and really fortunate to have them in the community. Today I attended Leticia Sandoval's Select Insurance. She's been in the community 11 years. So I've been really trying to make the rounds and connect with business owners and attend to their needs and just hear them, because that's something I think I've heard a little bit is, we aren't being heard. Our council members, you guys do the best you can, but I think, I'm the conduit, and they look to the city manager to be that voice back to the council. So, I think in my position, that's something that I'm really trying to be intentional about. Some other things, obviously, I think we did make like Mayor alluded to, a lot of progress on the Rules Committee. Also spent some time interviewing technology support assistants. So that's something, we've got a good candidate. So excited to get that going. Also met with the organizer of Sunshine Days, Amy Rubio. So I know she's here. Thank you for all your hard work. You know, the event was a success. 50 teams played basketball, so that's an accomplishment. And I think we had 38 participants, Amy, in the parade. So I think everybody really loved that. So you know, I think that's something that will really grow. And so we appreciate her efforts. Some things that I've been talking about with our new deputy city manager and staff is, and I want to get some direction from the council and get a feel on this. I feel like we've got so much work to do here at the city, and we really need to get into a rhythm of workshop, council meeting, workshop, council meeting. I really feel like the lag between council meetings, we can't get into a rhythm as a staff. And I really believe in workshops. It's something that when I was at the city of Pasco and Franklin County, the workshops were an educational opportunity for council members and also staff to kind of sharpen their pencils and figure it out. It is more of a commitment. You know, it would require us to be here, you know, 4 Mondays a month. I do feel strongly about this, and I think it'll help us really get a rhythm in the city and start to accomplish more, you know, because I just think it's really difficult to get into a pattern and, you know, for staff to really be able to adhere to what my expectations are. You know, I'm really trying to raise the bar here and make this city better. And I think that is a commitment that everybody, the staff is willing to make. And, you know, I wanted to run that by the council and get your feeling. Because I do feel strongly about this council.
Council members, questions or comments on this item? Sorry.
I tend to agree with that. I think that sometimes, I know that we used to just have the one workshop at the beginning of the first Monday of the month, and then we were trying to do something so we could have more stuff, more work study ahead of the meeting so that we wouldn't forget in between minutes. But I understand your point and take your point that trying to get that consistency, get that momentum going, having them on a regular Mondays, you know, one, maybe the workshop, the next one, of course, maybe that carries over to the next one and then the regular council meeting and so on and so forth. And I tend to agree because we find ourselves in a position where we're going to be working pretty much nonstop. Your staff is going to be working pretty much nonstop. And we all need to be on the same page with that. And I think this would help for cohesiveness.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Mr. City Manager, whatever you feel that we need to change, and we're here to support you and make sure that the staff, you know, supports you. So, yeah, whatever we need to change.
Thanks. Other comments on this item? Okay, I tend, Mr. City Manager, to agree with my colleagues on this one. Whatever helps us as a body be more informed, therefore more effective at our job, I think will be helpful. The current method of having a study session before the regular meeting is something that we started only this year. And it hasn't gone horribly. The only downside to it is we are limited to 1 hour, and sometimes our discussion goes a little bit longer than that, and we're forced to stop that meeting in order to be able to take a break to begin the regular meeting. And so the time constraints are a bit of a problem. And also, I don't know how the public feels about it. They haven't given a lot of feedback to me, at least, about that, but it does feel rushed sometimes to me at the study session. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and
Okay, sounds good. That gives me good direction. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Appreciate that. I do want to hand it over to our new Deputy City Manager, Debbie Zabel. She's been working hard on Springbrook, which is our financial software, really trying to get that up to speed and sort of figure that out. Ms. Zabel has spent a lot of time unraveling things and really trying to figure things out. So with that being said, I'll send it over to her.
Ms. Zabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have spent quite a bit last week, a bit of time just meeting with staff. Particularly staff in City Hall, which, by the way, are awesome. We have 4 really great finance staff. They are very dedicated to their jobs. They're hard workers. They are willing to step in and do whatever needs to get done to get the job done. And they're very conscientious workers. And I was just really glad to get to have the opportunity to work with them. I've met with folks in building and with Public Works, and we've come up with some different changes that will make things a little bit more efficient and easier for the staff as well as for the recipients, the permittees that when they come in. One of the biggest thing, well, I'll add about the budget. So this city hired GMP consultants, and Marie Mosley specifically has been working on the 2024 budget, identifying the ARPA money and excuse me, the ending fund balance issue that we have been discussing. And so they're going to have a report, I believe, on the October 7th meeting of their findings. So they have done a good job on that, and they've been able to identify, I think, half of the $4 million that we were looking at. So that's a good thing. The other substantial thing has been the city's financial software. So at sometime in 2022, the city staff had brought to council in the budget to move to new software. And the council approved that in the budget. But that change was actually changing the way that the county or the city does its financials. So we're a cash basis city, and we only deal in cash and how much money comes in and how much money goes out. That's all we deal with. So the software that they were moving to was an accrual-based software, which deals with assets and liabilities. We have expenditures and revenues, and then we have cash. It changes the way that we do our financial reporting. It introduces the whole depreciation schedule, which we don't even have. And so it's a lot more involved, and we don't have the staff to do that level of accounting with accrual basis accounting. It's a full-on CAFR. The annual report is a much larger product that we have to produce for the state auditor's office. And in talking with Springbrook, they were also concerned with where we were at. And, they had questioned, do you understand that you're changing the basis of accounting that you're going to be going to? There's been quite a bit of money invested into this change, and they're not even halfway there yet. If we were to continue on, it would be another substantial investment beyond the initial $95,000 of the change. So we had a meeting with them today, and I've met with all the staff that are using our existing software, and our existing software is fine for what we have. I mean, we're a cash basis. We don't want to change to accrual. We don't want to invest another large amount of money into a software that's going to now create more work for us to do. So stopping that while we're somewhat ahead is the plan that we're going to be doing. So we'll be working, we went live in June with cash receipting and accounts payable. So it won't be a difficult task to take the 3 months that we the 3 months that we have entered stuff into that system and just moving it back to our old system. And those two modules, the cash receipting and accounts payable, are the easiest ones. Payroll is very complicated. Utility billing is very complicated, and it's going to take a lot if we were to continue on to get those migrated into the new software. So when the software company itself says, yeah, we think it's probably not good for you guys to go this direction, and they're looking at how much, can they give us any refunds? Can they give us any credits? Because we do use the software currently. We just use the cash basis portion, not the accrual basis. So they're going to be looking at what they can do to help us with that. So that's taken up the majority of the time. So the staff that uses the system are very happy that we're not going to be going in that direction.
So changing this direction, is that something that's going to take council approval?
Well,
Since council voted to go that direction in the
well,
first place?
the council approved the resolution to do the software change, to go to new software. That was for the purchase of it. So, but not the functionality of
Okay.
the software.
Good. Just wanted to make sure that
It
there's
is.
not some action that we have to take a minute to get that, to move in that
It's just to
direction.
let you know that, it's a change in the direction that we were going. But I think it's a direction that is not, it's not the direction that we should be going. We need to stay where we're at, stay with cash and do the good job that we've already been doing.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hart.
So basically, what you're saying, I'm just trying for clarification
No,
here
it's
for
fine.
myself. We're gonna stick with the bias for the cash
Mhm.
going forward. Whatever we do with Springbrook is a separate issue?
Yeah, so we're already technically with Springbrook. There's Springbrook cash
Mhm.
and there's Springbrook accrual. So we're already with Springbrook cash.
Okay, okay.
So we're just staying with their existing cash system and they're fully manageable. The only change that would happen is they're going to be moving towards a cloud-based platform where now it's on our server. So, and that's not inconsistent with a lot of other software programs. I shouldn't say most, there's a lot of programs that are moving to the cloud. So we don't have the server cost and housing of the data ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I did want to address Britton and anybody in the public for that matter. If you need to communicate, you guys can always reach out to me and I do appreciate all of you. And I know Sandra said something before. I really appreciate all your efforts, and I feel like I know everybody. From Teresa to Britton, Amy, Tony, Monica, Maria. You guys always have an open door to my office, and I think most of you have my cell phone number. So if I'm the conduit to the council, if for some reason you can't get a hold of them, or and I'll make a concerted effort, because honestly, I did not know that was the process. Me being new and working with the clerk, I probably missed those emails somewhere in the scope. So I'll take that one. So, but always feel free to reach out to me. That's all I got.
All right. I have one just quick clarification, and this one is for Dr. Stevens. You have a note on the side of your, on the public's comment list here, says no calls before 12 a.m. Sorry, I had. All right, there being no further business to come before council and without objection,